did there come a time when you were ordered by the Court of Common Pleas to evaluate Miss Bionca Ellis for competency?
Yes.
Okay. And you met with Miss Ellis where?
I met with Miss Ellis at North Coast Behavioral Health Care. I worked there from 2011 to 2012 full-time in competency restoration work, and then since I left that position, I've been a consultant there, and I visit there about once a week, and I do forensic consultation there. So my occasion to see Miss Ellis was a part of my work at North Coast Behavioral. I was assigned to evaluate her case when she was admitted for a 20-day competency evaluation. She was admitted in August of 2024, and that's when I first evaluated her.
Okay. And can you tell us about the evaluation, the process you would go through as it relates to evaluating her?
Yes. With a competency evaluation, what my job is to evaluate the person who's facing charges. I do a full mental health evaluation on them. That's a standard psychiatric interview and a diagnostic interview. Then there are two questions for me. Whether the person has a present mental condition is the first question. And the second question is whether that condition is impairing her, what's called her adjudicative capacities. So that has two arms. I need to decide if she can understand the nature and objectives of the proceedings that she's facing, and then if she's able to assist in her defense. So that is a standard competence to stand trial evaluation. You first decide if the person has a present mental condition, and then can they understand the proceedings, and if the third thing is if they can assist in their defense.
Okay. You reviewed her complete treatment and behavioral records from August of 2024 through January 2025?
That's correct. So the first time that I saw her, what I reviewed for the first, what's called a 20-day evaluation, what I reviewed at that time was the hospital records that were available at that time, which was from August 26th through September 3rd. That was for the first evaluation. I also was assigned to do her follow-up competency reevaluation. That I did in January. And for that, I reviewed her full treatment record from August 26th all the way through to February 1st.
All right. Did you review prior competency evaluations by Dr. Sarah West and Dr. Hatter's Friedman as well?
Yes, as a standard part of a competency evaluation, we will review any prior competency evaluations. So Ms. Ellis had been evaluated twice for competence prior to being referred to North Coast for what's called a 20-day inpatient competency evaluation. So when I was doing the 20-day evaluation, I reviewed both of those competency evaluations.
Okay. Before interviewing Ms. Ellis, you informed her that you were conducting a forensic evaluation and not providing treatment. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And do you explain to her whether or not this is done in confidentiality?
Yes. So typically when you see a psychiatrist, it's private. That's sort of the whole point. You want it to be private. You want to say whatever you need to say. With a forensic evaluation, you do not have privacy. So I did inform Ms. Ellis, I will not be your treating psychiatrist. You and I will not be a patient and a doctor. I'm assigned to evaluate an issue for the court. That's the extent of our relationship, and anything you tell me can be included in this report.
Okay. And did she have a response when you communicated that to her?
When I saw her in September, in August, for the September report, she did have a response. Her response, in part, was bizarre. She asked me about Jesus Christ and where he was crucified, and she made some other bizarre statements about Matthew and Jesus and taxes. I did repeat to her, explaining the purpose of my evaluation, and explained non-confidentiality and asked her if she was willing to proceed with the interview, and she did shake her head yes, that she had understanding and agreed to proceed.
Okay. Doctor, based on your review, Ms. Ellis has a long history of severe mental illness dating back to at least 2014. Is that correct?
That's correct. There are records from a community mental health center. It's called Murtis Taylor. They specialize in treatment of severe and persistent mental illness. She has been a client with them since November of 2014. So, and typically, individuals with mental illness don't necessarily get treatment when they first develop symptoms. Sometimes it takes a minute. So I would say definitely she had that illness in November 2014, but probably before.
So she's been diagnosed with schizophrenia and
All right, let's be clear. Dr. Testa, she did the competency evaluation, not what was going on the day of the event. This was whether she was competent to stand trial. She was found not competent for many, many months under psychiatric care before she was found competent. And we'll have more testimony in the toddler stab murder trial of Bionca Ellis coming up. Plus, Donna Adelson will soon learn her sentence after being convicted in the murder of her ex-son-in-law, Dan Markell. So keep it here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, the defense begins their case in the toddler-stabbed murder trial. We're breaking down the biggest moments from today's proceedings.
Closing Arguments with Vinny Politan tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
A wife accused of murdering her prominent attorney husband, and the defense involves blaming her own sons?
Victim to verdict with Ted Rollins. New episode Saturday night, 8 Eastern and Pacific.
Only on Court TV.
The wound he received to his cheek actually went in and cut a piece of his tongue. The wound that he received to his back.
Overruled. Go ahead and finish what you learned.
The wound that he received to his back was so deep that it actually sliced his lung.
We're watching day 4 of the toddler stab murder trial of Bionca Ellis. The state has rested, and now the defense is presenting its case. And on the stand now is a competency expert, a forensic psychiatrist, who looked at the defendant to determine her competency to stand trial. Let's go back in for more.
That's correct. The Cleveland Clinic records show that she was admitted at Lutheran and Marymount and diagnosed there. And then she had a referral to another hospital by Metro Health and was diagnosed there as well.
Okay. And can you tell the jurors what are the symptoms of schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder? What is that?
Yes. Schizophrenia is what we call a thought disorder. So with schizophrenia, the mind breaks from reality. The word schizophrenia means split mind. It's not to mean split personalities. It's that the mind itself is splitting from reality. So the symptoms that you'll have is your thoughts are not with reality anymore. People will believe things that aren't true. They have delusions, which is a fixed false belief. You cannot convince the person otherwise. That thinking is coming from the same part of the brain that produces real thought. So it feels like any of us would feel about something that we know is true. People will also have hallucinations with a diagnosis of schizophrenia. That means that their senses are firing when there's not something real there. Most common in schizophrenia, people will hear voices, comes in through your ears. It's coming from that same lobe of the brain where real hearing comes from, so it sounds very real. People will also see visions is pretty common in schizophrenia. Disorganization of thinking. Thoughts become really jumbled. So people will go from one thought to the next, and the associations between those thoughts we call them loose. It's like you can't really follow it. You can't follow what they're saying. People will have disorganized behavior as well. Their behavior, you watch it and it makes no sense why they're kind of engaging in the behavior that they're engaging in. There is cognitive deficits as well in schizophrenia. There's some affective symptoms that you'll see. There's a blunted affect, so they don't show the normal range of expression that we would expect an individual to show. So that expression is blunted. The expression can also be very inappropriate. So people can smile and laugh for no reason, frown for no reason. The affect is really not matching the emotional expression that they're having. It's not matching what's going on in the environment. That's typical of schizophrenia. Schizoaffective disorder, what that is schizophrenia with an affective or a mood component. So people will have schizophrenia, they'll meet criteria for schizophrenia, and they will also have mood disorder as well, be it bipolar disorder with mania and depression, or depressive disorder with just depression.
Let me ask you this. In September of 2024, did you generate a report identifying your involvement in this case?
Yes.
And did you opine certain things?
I did.
Okay. And did you do the same in February of 2025?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibits I, which is the September 2024 report, September 3rd. And then the February 3rd, 2025 report is going to be identified as Defendant's Exhibit H. Yeah, April?
You may. September 3rd.
Can you take a look at those and identify those? Look at H first. Which report is that? Is it the February report?
Yes, sir. H is the February report, and this is the report that I authored at North Coast Behavioral.
Okay. And then I is the September 2024 report.
Yes, that's correct. This is my initial report, the September report. There is also a second report here as well. That's because there was a forced medication order requested, okay. So that is also attached here.
Okay, thank you. I want to get back to what you were discussing about the symptoms. You talked about the symptoms of schizophrenia. As a result of your involvement, did you learn whether or not Ms. Ellis had been hospitalized?
Yes, I did. In the information that I had available to me to review, there was evidence of 4 psychiatric hospitalizations. I'm going to refer to my report so that I can give you accurate information about those.
Which report are you referring to?
The initial September 3rd report.
Okay.
And what page?
Which page?
If we go to page 5.
Thank you.
Okay. So the review of records that I did, this was records that were summarized in Dr. Hatters-Friedman's competency report. Those records showed that she was hospitalized in November of 2015. At that time, she was taken to the emergency department at Lutheran Hospital. Her mother had taken her there because she was not taking medications at the time. She had not slept for 5 days. She was hearing voices. She was expressing suicidal thoughts. She was experiencing these voices raping her and wanting to impregnate her. She thought there was a prophet involved. She was admitted to psychiatry at that time, and she was stabilized on. And yes.
So for reading it all, if you would just read slowly for the court.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
She was treated with a combination of antipsychotic and mood stabilizing medications, and she was stabilized through that hospitalization. It was a 5-day hospitalization.
Thank you.
Is that better? That's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
We all do that. We all read faster anyway, so I just want to make sure Rob gets it.
I speak quickly too, so slow me down at any time.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, on page...
I'm sorry, I'm just going to sort of cut to it.
Yes.
From November 2015.
Yes.
And December 2015, February 2016, October 2018, up to June of 2021. Do you know if she was hospitalized further?
Yes, 3 additional hospitalizations.
Okay.
Due to presenting to the emergency room off medications.
Okay. And then in September of 2023, on page 6 of 14,
yes.
Was she hospitalized again?
Can you repeat the date?
September 2023.
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell us about that?
Yes. She had been taken to the Fairview Emergency Department. She had called 911 at that time. She stated that she didn't feel safe. She had been out of medications for about a month. She was unable to obtain refills in the community. She was seeing visions of people coming out of her walls to try to kill her at night. She was talking about Albert Einstein and a bowl of ants. She had been able to sleep. This record stated that she was visibly hallucinating at that time. They admitted her to Marymount Hospital, and she required an 11-day hospitalization and was stabilized on antipsychotic medication at that time.
Okay.